Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's project. This week I am making a black walnut and resin cutting board or serving tray. Now that I know this is not a turning, but it is wood and resin, so I hope you stick around to the end and see how it turns out. Here I'm using a hot glue gun and putting the mold together. Using some clamps to hold the melamine in place while I drill some pilot holes. And I'm using 1.5" screws to screw in the melamine on the sides and ends. And here I'm using mold release. As you can see, I also put some caulking around the edges so the resin doesn't leak. And in goes the walnut. And I use some small pieces of wood covered in tuck tape to hold the board down. Using Total Boat Thick Set here so I can pour it all in one pour. Some of the resins, as you probably know, if it's not a deep pour or a thick set, you can't pour it very deep. You have to pour it in 1/8 to 1/4 inch pours, and this you can pour much more thick. So I used Ecopoxy Fire Truck Red, and this is a little bit of accent to soften the red just a tiny bit. And this is some black diamond. It's a red, but it has some sparkle type elements in it, and I just used a little bit of that to maybe make some small highlights in the red. Making sure to pour it in somewhat slowly so I get the least amount of bubbles. And with a deep pour or thick set, it does give opportunity for the bubbles to pop because it takes a longer cure time. So that's something really nice about the thick set. So after it's cured, I think I left it for three days or so, taking the melamine form apart, taking the screws out here, and getting my anger out with a hammer. Good therapy if you need it. Apparently I needed it. And I did get resin on the bottom, even though it was clamped down. So using some light passes on the planer to flatten the surface. And almost done with the planing here. As you can see, the walnut's looking very good. Trying to square it up here on the bandsaw. This pass was okay, but I don't have a table saw, so I was trying it this way, but I did end up having a friend with the table saw to straighten all the edges. This bandsaw part didn't really work out to my satisfaction. I need to get a table saw, so starting the sanding process here. And the sanding probably took the longest of this project, I think. If you've worked with wood or resin, you know that sanding is, if you hurry with the sanding, you're going to have a poor looking product. So I've learned to be patient with sanding. It is tedious sometimes, but it is worth it in the end if you go through the process correctly. Using some Starbond CA glue to fill some small cracks. This is thin, clear. I was showing the medium thick black there a second ago with the thin. I didn't actually end up using the black, just this. There wasn't a lot of places to fill, just a few. And it works really well with the activator, and you can sand off and sand flush pretty quickly. There is a link to the products I use in the video description, including the Starbond CA glue. Wiping the surface a little bit, and then I am going to put some denatured alcohol to clean the surface of any dust and debris, and get a peek under the tent, so to speak, of how the finished product will look when done. Really, the black walnut is really very pretty. Using some cutting board oil as part of the finishing process. So you put this on, this is the process for finishing. You're putting this on and then letting it sit for about 20 minutes before wiping off the excess. I ended up doing about 3 coats of the oil. The board was thirsty. And then after 3 coats of the oil, I used this Butcher Block conditioner. I ended up doing about 3 or 4 coats of this as well. And I think it was worth it in the end. The final piece came out nice, in my opinion, as far as finish. Now with this piece, I didn't choose to do any chamfers or roundovers. I really wanted to leave as much thickness as possible and have it be, I did put feet on it, so you'll see that in a minute, but I really wanted it to be a block, like a butcher block. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you. I hope you're enjoying the video. I would ask you, if you do like this video, to please click that thumbs up button. It really does help me out quite a bit. So thanks in advance. Buffing pad now on the orbital sander, giving out a final buff. So thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It is free to subscribe, and it really helps me make more content here on YouTube. So some glamour shots coming up of the finished piece, but until next week, peace out.